Tonight's story is from a book called Storytime for 6-year-olds, and the story is called Smart Alec. Alec, as you probably guessed, is a peacock. That's a bird with a lot of feathers on its tail. It can make a big fan on its tail with lots of colours. Anyway, let me read it to you. Alec was a peacock. He lived at the Better Birds bird park, but he never played with the other birds. He just thought about his looks all day.
Baby birds don't know how to fly. Probably haven't learned yet. But only mommy bird can fly.
That's right. Only baby birds. Well, baby birds don't yet know how to fly. Only the mummy birds can fly. And daddy birds, of course.
Yeah, daddy bird. You're daddy. But I'm a little boy. Well, I'm growing. I'm growing bigger, bigger, bigger. But finally, I'll be a big. And finally, I will reach your head.
Finally, you'll be as tall as me.
But I will reach your head.
And then you'll be an adult.
Now.
First, you start off as a baby. Then you become a toddler. Then you become a little boy. Then you become a big boy. Then you become a teenager. Then you become an adolescent.
Yes.
And lastly, you become an adult.
Which I reach your head.
And by then, you'll be as tall as me.
Yes. Well,
You'll be as tall as Daddy.
I'm growing in my bed. But I.
Do you know when you grow most? You grow most when you're fast asleep. Like the plants. Have you noticed the plants grow in the night?
Yes.
They don't grow in the daytime. They grow in the night. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because sunlight inhibits growth.
Let's see.
Sunlight inhibits. I mean, it means it stops growth.
I have my own plant.
You do. And your own plant grows in the night, but not in the daytime.
But the free leaves. But I can leaves now because it's bedtime.
What did you say?
I can't count leaves because it's bedtime.
That's right. It's bedtime now. Well, shall we carry on with the story?
Yes.
Alec was a peacock. He lived at the Better Birds bird park. But he never played with the other birds. He just thought about his looks all day. In other words, he was thinking about how he looks. Alec even owned a comb.
What's a comb?
What you comb your hair with. I guess he combs his feathers with the comb. It's a bit like a hairbrush, except it's small and thin. We have some combs, but usually we use the hairbrush to comb your hair. He even owned a comb that had been dropped one day by a careless tourist. It would be lovely to have a mirror as well as a comb, sighed Alec. But at least I can look at myself in the lake. Because he looks in the lake to see his reflection. Each day, Alec strutted down to the water, opened his tail wide, and gazed at his own reflection in the water. What a smart bird, he said to himself. And then he got out his comb, presumably to comb his feathers, just as you might comb your hair. It drove the other birds mad. Just look at smart Alec, they groaned. That peacock is a pain. The herons, that's the white birds in the water, the herons wanted Alec to play hide and seek.
Hide and seek? If you play in hide and seek, and the one you count, one hides and one counts.
That's right.
If if you hide him and you find him, you say, "I found you." Then it's your turn to hide.
You've got the idea. That's the way we play hide and seek. The herons wanted Alex to play hide and seek. "Come on," said Harry. "Shut up your tail for once and play with us." But the two herons want to play with smart Alec. "No thanks," said Alec to the two herons. "I'm busy." He spread his tail even wider and carried on combing. Next came the new ducklings. "Beep, beep, beep, beep. Be our goalie," they asked. Be our goalie. They want him to stand in the goal when they play football. "Be our goalie," they asked, they begged. "We want to play football with the chicks, and your tail will be great to fill our goalpost." "All right," said Alex, but not for long. Alec didn't like being goalie. Every time the ball hit his tail, it flattened his feathers.
Why are you flashing this feathers?
But because you have to lie where you have to go near where the ball went out of court, out of the goal.
Can I see?
Yes. You can see the picture of the ducklings coming towards the peacock. Alec has the peacock. Alec has the big tail. Alec peered anxiously at his reflection. Whatever had those chicks done to his tail? Alex combed his feathers all afternoon. At last he was satisfied. "Gosh," he said, "I look like something smarter than ever." Just then, the phone rang.
A phone ring? A phone you put on the ear and I will cry to the person. What else he? Oh, he kicked. He kicked there.
The football is being kicked towards the feathers. Now you get in bed.
Okay. Daddy, is that enough for this?
Alec combed his feathers all afternoon. At last he was satisfied. "Gosh," he said, "I look smarter than ever before." I'll turn the page.
And then what? I was going to see a picture.
The best bird brain at the park was Phoebe Flamingo. Harry Heron went to see her with their problem. "We just want Alec to forget about his looks," he said, "and behave like a normal bird." Phoebe stood on one leg and thought deep thoughts.
You sit on the bench.
Phoebe stood on one leg and thought deep thoughts. Then she came up with a plan.
A plan was a plan.
What you're going to do. A plan is a set of events, one after the other, that you plan to do. So Phoebe has come up with a plan. The first part of the plan was to obviously is to get something for it. So the first part of the plan was to collect some banana skins. Harry passed on the message to the other birds. They set up to work right away. The birds lurked near litter bins. They grovelled in the grass. They posed in pictures. The tourists had never known them to be so friendly. Alec knew nothing about Phoebe's plan. He was too busy combing his tail. The next day, downed worm and all clear. I can't wait to see my reflection, cried Alec.
Daddy.
And he rushed down to the lake as usual. But things had changed since his last visit. The other birds had worked all night. I wonder what's happening now. Are they working to make him surprised by his reflection? Let's see what happens. Whee! Alec slid right down the bank. It was covered in banana skins. The bank is covered in banana skins. He must have slipped on one of them.
Oh, slipped on one. Banana.
Splash! Alec fell into the lake, comb and all.
Splash.
At last he came up for air. Whatever would he say? But Alec didn't say anything. He had just... But whatever would he say? But Alec didn't say anything. He just shrieked and screamed. Shrieked and screamed. Can you say shrieked? It's S-H-R-I-E-K-E-D. Shrieked. Good try. She shrieked and creamed. No, screamed. Not creamed. Shrieked and screamed. So Alec shrieked and screamed when he fell in the water. He fell in the water because he slipped on the banana skins that were on the bank. I wonder who put them there. At last Alec came up for air from under the water. Whatever would he say? But Alec didn't say anything. He just shrieked and screamed. That banana skin was fantastic. I never knew I could whiz so fast. This water feels wonderful. I must take a dip more often. The other birds could hardly believe their ears. What about your tail, Alec? Cried Harry Heron. Beep, beep. Be careful of your feathers, warned the ducklings. But smart Alec didn't hear a word. He was too busy splashing and diving. And he wasn't looking for his comb either. Alec was behaving just like any normal bird and having fun. And that's the end.
Can I see you? Can I see the end?
Yes, you can see the end. There's the picture of Alec sliding down the banana skins into the water. And here he is in the water. Okay, you get to bed now. We'll tell another story tomorrow. That's a different story, and I haven't got time to tell that one about a fire engine. Tomorrow with it.
I just started
Into bed, please.
tonight. It's so dark. I don't know where I'm going.